The first 3 songs I released aren't actually the first 3 songs on the album. It's just a segment of the album. And all 3 songs happen that way, in that order that they came out. And all of them highly feature my vocals, which I think was the biggest sort of, not leap of faith, because I've been singing on stuff for a long time actually, and like writing songs for a long time, but I think that's the part of my artistry that has been the most sort of behind closed doors that I'm really like bringing to the forefront on this album. And I think that's clear in releasing these 3 songs first, or at least like this concept of like the focus tracks or like the singles being 3 songs that are just me on them. Crystal Ballroom, it's one of very few songs that anybody else touched production-wise, you know. It feels very like me. It feels like my sort of identity is very much being explored on these 3 songs. I'm talking a lot about myself, naming myself. For now, I'll just focus on Nico, reflecting on some of my favorite songs. And it's just like so many iconic moments of like hearing people say their own names. And I was like, did I ever hear like Randy Newman in a song go like, and Randy was, like, I don't know. Stevie Wonder, has he ever been like, get him Stevie, you know what I mean? Like, so it was just kind of fun for me to combine these 2 worlds of seeing yourself, highlighting yourself, focusing on yourself, and try and do it, you know, to me in what was a very musical and kind of fun and playful way, and not taking myself so seriously, just really contributing to this feeling of like Nico stepping into his own, stepping into his light. The first 3 songs accomplish a lot in terms of sort of the wow factor, maybe. Maybe that's what made me feel comfortable with those songs coming out first. The wow factor being mostly just that all the vocals are me, even like the pitched up and around ones that a lot of my friends have asked me, like, who's that girl on the beginning of Runway? Or like Austin asked me if it was John Doe on the middle of Runway. We're like, you just need some water when you're thirsty. I love those moments. And I think that was part of maybe the irony or the sort of jab at like vocals being this new exploration for me, or like people's first view into like my vocals. I'm gonna poke fun at it, and I'm gonna like tease my smile, and I'm gonna make fun of my voice being super high, or I'm gonna talk about having the time of my life while it lasts. This isn't the first life, this isn't the last. I'm gonna have fun while I'm doing this. I'm gonna be talking about and unpacking some very difficult topics, like I inherited my family name, I inherited the family purse. You were given every family curse the moment you were given birth. I'm gonna definitely be talking about some family trauma, using words like inheritance and flipping the meaning of it, making it have sort of this duality that I'm exploring a lot on the album with phrases like that. There's a song, sort of what I consider the first song for people, because it's the first song with my voice on it. And the first song with words on it on the album. It's called I'll Be the Flood. And it's exploring the same sort of themes there. I say, you know, I'll be the flood for you when the well runs dry. When the well runs dry, I'll be the flood. And it's kind of like flipping this concept of a flood and this like barren wasteland of the bottom of a well, you know, and then you're like sitting there, you're looking up and you're like, you need a flood. Or what's the first thing you think of when you're like being flooded with something, like, oh, I need to get away from this. I need that barren well, that dry well. And then the second stanza I say, you know, I'll be the mud for you if the sand's too fast. When the sand's too fast, I'll be the mud. And it's again talking about this, like, what we need, what we think we need. And that gets explored a lot throughout the album, you know, about like flipping these phrases, maybe that had a negative or a positive connotation, and kind of bringing the other side to it, bringing another perspective to it. So when I say, you know, the family purse, you don't immediately know if I'm talking about a rich person or a poor person, but using words like inheritance and purse and then curse, and I don't know, it's kind of bringing this more ominous tone around something that I think when you think of like wealth, or you think of like family wealth, you know, it's not like the most obvious way of looking at it. I think I'm talking about the next life and the next life and the next life coming back, or your soul moving on to this other realm or this other plane where you don't know if you're gonna have a better setup than you have right now. So yeah, I think those songs, like focusing on my voice, not focusing so much on the trumpet, and in this case, totally the opposite, right? No trumpets, which by the way wasn't intentional. You know, it was just sort of what happened, you know, on the album. I played trumpet where I wanted to, you know, I played trumpet where it felt called for, and I made sure that there was some moments where I was exploring the horn and like letting you into that part of my brain, and also just giving that sound, you know, its due, giving it its worth. So yeah, I feel excited about letting people into this side of my artistry and highlighting it, and not being so like, I don't know if people are gonna like this. It's just like, this is what it is, you know? I'm sort of like being very direct about that on Like a Trap too, you know? Is it giving what you asked for? It's like very cheeky, very like direct to the audience. Like, is this good enough? Is this smile pretty enough? Did I satisfy you? If you had the perfect smile, would you smile more? Can you be comfortable in your skin? Can you be comfortable letting people see you smile in your most sort of natural state, in your most sort of like organic self, authentic self? It feels good right now, seeing the feedback and seeing what people are latching onto. And as much as we can really bring ourselves down as musicians, it's really important to see ourselves in this positive light, and in this like constructive light is maybe a better way of putting it. Like, we're a work in progress. If there's something that you want to get better at or you want to change, then, you know, being big enough and being like intentional and present enough to say, this is something I want to get better at, this is something I want to change, and then working on it. And then also having the grace of just like, everybody was in your position at their craft at one point. You know, there's no fairy dust that Miles sprinkled on his trumpet every morning. He just worked hard, you know, just like everybody else did, and just got really cold. And then it's also, this concept of community has been really, really powerful in the release of these songs, because a lot of times, you know, in the Juju Exchange, we have this song called Can't See My Eyes. And we often make this joke. We do something raw and somebody around us sees it and they're like, yo, you went crazy. Like, that was dope. And you're like, what? Like, what did I even do? Or like, you can't see yourself sometimes. You can't see like the way other people see you. And this whole process of making this album, that's been a really big theme for me. You know, Jansen being one of the first people to really see me as an artist and really like feel the need to like capture moments of what I'm doing in the studio, you know, taking time off of his job to like be there and like carrying lights around and just seeing this moment as important and worthy, seeing my artistry as worthy of attention. And the community and the feedback from people, that's what lets me lean into this moment and just kind of go full steam ahead, you know, because it's not just for me. It's not just for my family, you know, it's art that's gonna live forever, and it's for the world. And I think my barometer of like success has always been the people around me, you know, has been my family and has been my friends and my close collaborators. And like, okay, if Jamila likes this song, and like, I can trust that feeling. It feels really good to see my friends and artists I really respect, like Namdi and Fatima, commenting on stuff and being receptive to it and just congratulating me on this moment. At many points in my music making career, and specifically in production style, I feel the urge to go to the next section, to change all the chords, to do something. And on this album, there's been a lot of moments where I've had to really shake off that urge and have a lot of patience for the music, have a lot of patience for a section. Sometimes it would be like, I'm like grabbing a section of a song and like duplicating it, or I grab it and I duplicate it 6 times, but I only meant to do it 3. And then I like listen to it and I process it and I give it the time and I give it the space. The ideas start ruminating, right? Like percolating, like what could go here? Or how to satisfy the same itch of wanting to be intrigued, wanting to be sucked into a part of the music, right? Wanting to be led almost through the story via changes, via things happening. I've often made music that it felt like I was trying to say, look. And on this album, I'm really saying, feel. To the listener and to myself, I mean, you know, in both of those scenarios. So I think on this album, with this balance of like getting more patient with myself in my production style, and really hearing a section of music and really just like sort of letting my own teeth sink into it, I think has allowed for this transition in my artistry of also the rest of the world interpreting it that way too, and really having their own time to like sit with it and listen to it. I'm learning a lot about patience through having made this album where I have to be more patient with myself in the music. And yeah, I think it's a reflection of my own sort of humanity, my own maturity, I guess, as an artist and as a human, of just sort of, yeah, letting that section rock, let it go, like let people really just lean into it. Everything I've ever released feels like has satisfied some sort of musical itch. And on this one, it's satisfied a much deeper, like philosophical, spiritual itch. This is the most me music I've ever made, by far, by a long shot. It's less a statement on like not working with as many people, more so a testament to Nico getting more focused and more sure of his sound and more like accepting of himself, and that shines through the music. So a lot of people's comments on the art so far on the 3 songs that have come out have been like, it sounds so much like you, it looks so much like you for the videos, it feels so much like you. That's all I can really do, is be myself and not try so hard to be anything else, and try to be the best version of myself. And I think that messaging and that feeling is coming through the music, and something I want people to walk away with. On the other side, you know, coming into, not have so much expectation about what they're gonna hear or who they're gonna hear, and just kind of have an open mind. But this project has felt much more personal and much more like the people that I've thought about using as the kind of barometer of success, or like the, can I play this for this person? Would I be excited to play this for this person? Have all been people really close to me. I'm just getting more to the point on this album. I'm just saying, no, this is what I'm doing. I'm playing the piano on this whole song. Or now I'm playing trumpet on this whole song. Or, you know, it's like, it's much more intentional feeling, I guess. I hope people can just receive the message and apply it to their own lives. You know, apply the same sort of grace and acceptance that I'm trying to give myself to their own experience. Because that's what a lot of my favorite music has done for me, you know, has given me room to explore emotions or things that I didn't know could be spoken, could be so plainly put sometimes, you know. So I'm excited for people to experience and explore that own duality.